talk about a bookkeeping side hustle. I think it's a wonderful opportunity for those who want to do a lot of good, help a lot of people, and earn good money. And in this video right here, as well as the entire page, I want to kind of walk through the pros and cons of starting a side hustle in bookkeeping, as well as the 7 steps that I see essential to getting started on the right foot. Hi, I'm Ben Robinson. I'm co-founder of bookkeepers.com, and I appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me. I created this video here because I know a lot of people like to watch rather than read, or maybe you want to do a little bit of both. So what I'm going to do, I've actually printed off the blog post here. Don't worry, I will recycle the paper. I printed this off because I want to kind of walk through some of the things and maybe explain them in a little bit more detail through this video. Let's start off right now talking about the pros and cons of having a bookkeeping side hustle. Now, first and foremost, bookkeeping is the #1 most profitable business and side hustle. That's according to Inc. and Entrepreneur magazines. And one of the best things about it is it's recurring monthly income. Check it out. Business owners need to have their financial statements produced by a bookkeeping professional every single month. Why is that? Well, bookkeeping and the results, the financial statements, are the scoreboard for businesses. Imagine that you're at a football game and they're playing and there's no scoreboard up there. You don't know how much time is left. Without the financial statements, a business owner is kind of operating in the dark. So recurring monthly revenue in the #1 most profitable business makes it wonderful. Also, you don't need a license in the United States or Canada to become a bookkeeping professional. You don't need fancy certifications. Now, certifications are required, and we'll get to that in one of the steps here in just a moment. Now, there are a lot more pros, and I go through those in more depth down below. Now let's talk about the cons. A little bit of a warning here. Bookkeeping is not for everyone. A side hustle in bookkeeping is for a select few. I estimate, and our Digital Bookkeeper Association estimates, that only about 3 to 4% of the people actually qualify or should have a bookkeeping side hustle. Why is that? Well, it requires somebody who enjoys math. Right, I said it right there. If you don't enjoy math, you probably shouldn't do bookkeeping. It's like trying to become a writer without liking the English language. It's so important that you like math. Now, you don't have to be a wizard at it. You don't have to do calculus, but being pretty good at math, that's the language of business right there. So it's very important. Also, you have to have a servant's heart. You want to have to really help your clients. You have to put their needs above your own. Now, I believe that by doing that, you actually help yourself. But we have to have this inversion of saying, hey, how can I get something from my client other than how can I give something to my client? And a lot of people can't think that way. I don't know about you, but it takes a little bit of inversion for me to think in that manner right there. So that's very important. Some of the other cons to it is that, hey, you can't really scale the business if it's just you. Now, you can earn a 6-figure income. Of course, no promises here at all. But I know people that are a single person shop that earn 6 figures as a bookkeeping side hustle or a bookkeeping business, just doing it through themselves. But if you want to have a big business, a $500,000, $1 million business, it's going to be very difficult for you to do it on your own. Now, in order to do that, what do you have to do? Well, you have to hire people. You have to leverage technology. But if you want to grow a big business and make it just yourself, bookkeeping is probably not the side hustle for you. Those are just a couple of the cons that are right there. The biggest thing being, you have to really see if this is right for you because it's not for everyone. Okay, with those out of the way, let's talk about some of the steps right here. So if I were starting new and afresh today, if we were talking and I was saying, hey, here's the steps, this is what I would do. #1, you got to learn bookkeeping, but you got to learn bookkeeping of the 21st century. Now, I got a couple of books here, Bookkeeping for Dummies, Sham's Bookkeeping and Accounting. These are good resources and they're a good starting point. Problem is that it's all theoretical base. We have to have that understanding, that foundational understanding, I should say, but we also have to couple that with real world application. Business owners are not going to pay you for theory. They're going to pay you for getting stuff done, and that is preparing their financial statements. There's 3 big financial statements: the balance sheet, the income statement, and the statement of cash flows. You have to know how to build those from scratch, starting with how do you categorize expenses and income? How do you input those into the bookkeeping software? What bookkeeping software do you use, et cetera, et cetera. First thing though is we got to understand the foundations. And then we got to build on those so that we can create financial statements. That's the very first thing. So whatever training program that you're looking at, obviously I'm very partial to ours, Bookkeeper Launch, and we'll leave a link down below for that as well. But I'm very partial because we not only teach the theory, we teach a lot of practice, hands-on exercises, doing in real-world scenarios. Very important. So step one, learn bookkeeping, but learn 21st century bookkeeping. Step number two is to earn the certifications. Now there's two big certifications that you need to earn. I recommend that you become an associate digital bookkeeper, which is through the Digital Bookkeeper Association. Again, I'll leave some links down here below for that. And I also recommend that you get certified in software. If you're in the United States, most small businesses, about 75%, use QuickBooks Online or QuickBooks. And so that's something that I recommend that you get certified in their software. Because bookkeeping is teaching you the application. This is teaching you the software. And while there is overlap, it's important that you have both certifications. They're not really crucial. Like clients aren't going to look at those and go, oh, because he or she is certified, I'm going to do work with them. But it's more for your psyche and also for the training, getting that down. So there's two certifications I recommend that you get, the Associate Digital Bookkeeper, as well as your QuickBooks Online. Now, there's another alternative, Xero, and then there's Wave, and there's FreshBooks. These are a different bookkeeping and accounting applications that you can use and you can get certified in. But I would tell you the very first one that I would get when it comes to bookkeeping software would be QuickBooks. So that's step number two, earn the certification. Number three, select a niche. Now, yes, I say niche. Some people say niche. But this is about selecting a type of business that you want to serve, an industry that you want to serve. So I chose dentistry, right? I love serving dentists. That's all that I served, was just dentists. Now, what's the advantage here? Well, the advantage is that you can go really deep in understanding the dental industry or whatever niche or industry that you pick. So if I were to look at a dental practice's financial statements, I can immediately pick out the things that are right and wrong. But check this out, 80% of bookkeeping is the same, whether it's a dentist, a retail store, a veterinarian, all of that, the 80% is just the same. That last 20% though, is the crucial element. It's really helping you to have those 21st century skills where you can help your clients to become better. So I urge you in your bookkeeping side hustle to select one niche and serve them. Now, when you first start off, I recommend that you get any kind of client, right? Butcher, baker, candlestick maker, next door neighbor, landscaper, I don't care. I want you to get experience, roll up your sleeves, put all your application, your learning to good use, but select a niche down the road. After you get 5 or 10 clients, you need to serve just one niche. You'll make a lot more money, you'll do a lot more good. So that's very important right there, and that's step number three. Step number four is you gotta establish your business. Now, this is the boring part of it, right? We need to go out there, we need to form a legal entity like a limited liability company or a corporation. I don't recommend a sole proprietor because of the liability. I'm certainly not an attorney, but we need to start a business. We need to get our tax identification number. I go into all the details below. This isn't one of the sexier parts of it, but it is absolutely a requirement. We're gonna be a business, we're gonna be professionals, so we have to set ourselves up the same. You can check out all the information down there below. Wanna make sure you're set up. Now, step number 5 is that you need to build an effective website. Now, you're gonna be virtual. All bookkeeping that we're talking about here today is mainly virtual. Okay, you don't have to go into offices. You can serve clients across the country, across the globe, across the street. It doesn't really matter. But you need to have a good website. This is like looking good when you're going to a networking event or to somebody's house or to a business, whatever the case may be. Your website needs to draw people in. Now, when you first start off with your bookkeeping side hustle, most people aren't going to find you just by doing a Google search. They're not going to say, hey, bookkeeper near me, and you're going to show up. That could happen, and if it does, consider yourself to be blessed. But somebody meets you at a networking event, somebody is referred to you, your next door neighbor, whatever the case may be, they hear that you're a bookkeeping professional. They hear that you have a bookkeeping side hustle. What are they going to do? Well, they're going to Google you. They're going to look for any information that they can find, and hopefully your website comes up when they type in your name, bookkeeper. And so part of being an effective website is that we do what's called search engine optimization. That we make sure that you're showing up for the terms that people are searching for when looking for you or looking for the services that you provide. Again, more information is down below, but I'll tell you, having an effective website. You can start with just a one-pager. It doesn't have to be anything complicated. It does need to look professional. If you want to be paid like a professional, then you need to look like a professional, and that's instrumental in having a website. That's step number 5. Step number 6 is to leverage LinkedIn to get clients. Now, if you are predisposed to be a great bookkeeping professional, then you're probably predisposed to not like marketing. I'll tell you, LinkedIn for getting bookkeeping clients is an introvert's dream. Check it out. So LinkedIn, this is where businesses go. This is where business owners are. And it's a wonderful way for you to go out there and not have to do belly-to-belly networking, although I think that's a great way in which to do it. LinkedIn, it's so important. I've gone through this in great detail. It's one of the very best ways for you to get client after client after client. But like anything else, it's not easy. Okay, it's pretty simple what we need to do, and I've outlined some of the steps that we have and we recommend below with LinkedIn, but it is a gold mine for getting bookkeeping clients, and it's not something that you want to overlook. And I'll tell you again, it's an introvert's dream. And finally, step number 7 is that you launch your business. You've done a lot of work up to this point. Now we have to start telling people, I've started my bookkeeping business. You tell everybody in your network, you tell your friends. You're not going out there and saying, hey, do you know anybody, or can I do your bookkeeping? Only thing that you're doing is announcing to the world that you have a bookkeeping business. And you rinse and repeat, because it's all about 2 things. It's all about getting clients and serving clients. This is the most simple business in the world. Now, don't hear me in saying simple is easy. Okay, it's not. If it were easy, what's the old adage? Everybody would be doing it. So there's more information down below right here. But if you know that this is right for you, I strongly encourage you to check out Bookkeeper Launch. It's our flagship program. It's been used by more than 17,000 people to launch a bookkeeping side hustle, to launch a bookkeeping business. It goes through all the skills, everything that we've talked about here today. It gives you that information. It empowers you to have a successful bookkeeping side hustle. Again, this is Ben Robinson with bookkeepers.com. I appreciate your time. Enjoy the rest of this post.